everyone. Welcome to Ad America. I am Andrea, one of the EGETs here, and I hope everyone is doing well today. Our event for today is called Cracking the Code of Attending Massachusetts Institute of Technology with the Association of Indonesian Students, MIT. But before we jump into today's event, I would like to give a little fun fact of the day. Did you know that MIT invented the first computer in 1928? And now, without further ado, I would like to invite our Education USA advisor, Santika Salim, to the stage. So, Kak Santika, the stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in your precious Saturday. So, we have a very special event today, right? Crack the code of attending Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, with the Association of Indonesian Students there. So, ICE MIT is the shortened name of this Association of Indonesian Students there. So we will be having five MIT students, current students, incoming students, alumni. Everything about MIT is today, right? It is very rare chance for you to attend this kind of event, and we are very happy to have all of you guys here. And we thank the IS MIT to make this happen. And before that, I want to present you with another opportunity of Education USA. Actually, one of my advisee is one of the organizer for this ICE MIT event here. So I'm very proud to present Education USA and how we actually be part of his journey to go to MIT. All right, so without further ado, I will show you the short PPT of Education USA. All right, so first of all, what is Education USA, right? We are a US Department of State network over 400 international student advising centers in more than 170 countries. That means we are all over the world, and we provide free services, and our network promotes higher education to students around the world, giving the accurate and comprehensive information. But what we do is not only providing you with information, we can also talk to you about your strategy, the things you need, your US study plan, and you name it, okay? And in Indonesia alone, we have 6 centers, total of 7 advisors. And I'm here with my colleague, Christina, and I'm Santika. So you can see my name and Christina's there, right? But we are also in the US Embassy with Mas Iqbal, and we are also in the Surabaya in Universitas Airlangga Unair with Ambar. We also have a center in Malang, Makassar, and Banda Aceh, as you can see. So if you know anybody who wants to study to the States, but they're like, oh, but I'm not in Jakarta, you know what I mean? They find excuses, right? You can show them Education USA, and they can contact the nearest center. Everything's for free, including all of our events here. So all of the events in Education USA and Education USA at America are free of charge. All right, moving to what we can do. So you can see we have 5 steps here, right? You can start with researching your options if you're still confused. And if you're here, of course, MIT is probably one of your choice, right? And we can discuss further on how the program can fit you and whatever not. So if you're still confused, you can come to us. Step 2 is financing your studies. If you want to discuss on what are the opportunities of your scholarship, you can come to us and we can provide you with information that you can dig deeper. Step 3 is completing your application. This is our most popular service. You can review your essay, your CV or resume, and you can ask questions about letter of recommendations and everything that you need to submit for the application. Of course, you will be the one who submit your application, but we are here to provide you with in-depth guidance and strategy and discussion as much as you need, okay? No limitations on the number of sessions that you can seek from us. And the fourth one is when you get accepted to US university, any US university, not only MIT. Hopefully you will get accepted if that is one of your goals. You will be provided with a step-by-step on how you can apply for your student visa. And actually, we have a very high acceptance rate for Indonesian student visa. So I don't want anybody to, think that it's going to be very hard, it's going to be complicated. It's not. But if you're nervous, you can come to us. We can provide you with the steps. If you need any tips, you can do so. One of my advisors is actually supposed to be here, and he was just getting the visa. So if you're here, let me know. And the last one is prepare for your departure. We just had this very recently, 2nd of July or something. No, no, no. It was this month. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was a very happy moment for us every year. This is an annual event called Pre-Departure Orientation, and we invite everybody, including those who still not sure to go to the States or not, but especially those who are going to the States in that year. So if you're here ready to go to MIT, um, today will be very eventful for you to get to know your upperclassmen or the alumni and the whole ICE network today. Okay? All right. So if you need an advising session, you just need to go to calendly.com, EducationUSA at America right here, or you can scan the QR code. And you can also contact us through the email, jakarta.atamerica@educationusa.org. All right. And our upcoming events, you can check this kind of cool events in Atamerica website, .or.id /EducationUSA if you want to go to directly to our page. And then you can also go to educationusa.state.gov, our official website. And next month, we will have 2 very special events as well. One of them is a series. It's for IELTS. So if you are taking IELTS and you don't know where to go for, taking the lessons and everything, this is officially from the British Council, so you can trust them, right? And it will be every Saturday on August from 11 until 1. It will be a hybrid event as well, so you can come in like this, or you can join us online. So no excuses, right? And last one will be the US CV and resume clinic. This is when you can bring in your real CV to be reviewed by me and Christina during the event. So it will be in person, but you need to send your CV or resume in the soft copy just to our email. You can check the details on our website, of course, and that will be Friday, August 19, 6:30 until 8:30 p.m. Okay? All right. So without further ado, we will start today's special event, and I will call our special guest, of course. All right, so after this, we will have an introduction to ICE MIT. I am calling Mas Aji Nayaka Nikichio, one of our alumni from System Design and Management class of 2021 from MIT. Please give a round of applause. Thank you, everybody.
Oke. Siapa di sini yang mau masuk MIT? Oke, one more question. Siapa di sini yang mau masuk Harvard? Actually, I have to use English. I just forgot. For those of you who raised your hand when I asked about Harvard, are you sure you're in the right room? No, but seriously, guys, like this is number one tip. Number one tip from me. No one else has ever shared this tip before. Number one secret to get into MIT is don't apply to Harvard. No, like MIT and Harvard. You can ask like maybe most of our alumni and current students here. Probably none of them like they apply to MIT and apply to Harvard at the same time. Like for people like me yang matanya sipit, we believe kalau daftar dua-duanya itu nggak hoki. So, but I'm joking ya guys. We are good friends. In fact, we are only like 2 bus stops away from each other, MIT and Harvard. And I think we are very good friends. That's why we love to make fun of each other. But today, I'm here to introduce you guys to what Indonesian community is like at MIT. I think a lot of people always ask me, and maybe a lot of my friends at MIT juga, how many people are there? How many Indonesians are there at MIT? For example, also, what do we do? What do we eat? How much sleep do we get? Um, yeah, but before that, allow me to introduce myself. You can call me by my first name, Aji. I am a recent alumnus of MIT System Design and Management tahun lalu, which is, by the way, a very cool program. Ya enggak, Sabrina? Say hello dulu dong. Kayak waktu kontes Indonesia, Putri Indonesia. Okay, so
Lupa dong.
lupa. So, AIS, Association of Indonesian Students at MIT. We are usually about 20 to 25 people at any given point in time. So every year, about 5 people would graduate, and then maybe about 5-ish as well will join the university. So we kind of maintain that number, 20 to 25, at least for the past, I'm not sure, like maybe 5 years. It wasn't the case back then, but um, breakdown wise, you can see about it's a significant proportion from masters compared to like bachelor's and doctorate. So, I mean, if you want to make a conclusion that it's actually easier to get into the master's program, I may agree. I actually agree. That's why I apply to the master's, not the bachelor's, right? Um, so, but AIS, ICE, MIT, I mean, Indonesian students, we are just like any Indonesian students in any university, even in Indonesia. We love to gather with together. We love to share food. We eat rice. We have a lot of Indomie in our cupboard. So just like everyone who goes to university here in Indonesia. But we also get to, on the left here, we have the privilege to welcome an important person. I don't think I need to introduce to you. Sometimes we also have a pleasure to visit our honorary alumni, like Pak Haryanto, who is here as well with us. Thank you, Pak Haryanto. By the way, maybe can you tell the difference between the two? Yeah. Like, do you realize that we have more audience on the right? That 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 says that MIT alumni are really cool, right? Or maybe in this case, I think Pak Haryanto is too cool and too popular. So um, that's why. So yeah, last night I took a chance to gather some data just for you guys um, about how many people do we have at MIT, and also maybe so far what kind of degrees and programs have we gone to. So you can see that um, actually we these some of these programs are more popular than the others, right? Like mechanical engineering, EECS that includes like electrical engineering and computer science, MBA. I think it's also very popular. That's why we will have a dedicated presentation from the MBA students here. We also have city planning. Yeah. So this is also a very popular program in MIT. So I think many people might want to, think that it's probably easier to get one of this program, or maybe someone can interpret this as like it's actually there's more competition to get into this program, right? Um, or it's just that maybe it's like these programs are like the ones that have higher demand, maybe, not sure. Or maybe we have pretty good talent pool from Indonesia in these programs. Or you might also say there's a lot of opportunity for us, to enter some of the programs that don't have as many Indonesian students record yet. So, but regardless of whatever programs that you guys are interested in, one thing for sure is that this this trend, the trend of our people, or of Indonesians, who actually enter MIT. Back then, even in the 1960s, probably only like one. And just recently, we have more and more acceptance at MIT. So one thing for sure, guys, is that I'm sure that today it is more possible than ever before to enter MIT. And that's why I want to leave you with confidence and optimism that don't be afraid. Um, apply. Be, of course, do your discipline, do your homework, whatever it takes to actually apply to MIT. That's what everyone does here. And I think I want to appreciate as well that you guys are here. I think it's the one of the first step. No, this is actually very rare event. I can tell that probably I don't know, probably the first time that we actually do this. Hopefully, we can do it a bit more next year or even before that. So thank you for taking the opportunity to join this event, and don't forget to ask questions to the panelists later. We have very great panelists over here. Yeah, just prepare the hardest and the nastiest questions you can think of. Okay, why? Because I'm not in the panel. So, um, but to be to be to be frank, like these guys, our students from MIT, they love challenges. Okay, so like don't ask them too simple questions because like they might not answer at all. So just shower them with all the difficult questions you can. Okay, so without further ado, actually before this, I will also invite Pak Rahmat. Pak Rahmat will share more. I think can share more about our alumni here. Um, and yeah, thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mas Aji. And now I will call Pak Rahmat Kaimudin, the president of MIT Alumni Indonesia Association. Pak Rahmat, the stage is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Um, my name is Rahmat Kaimudin. I'm the president of Association of MIT Alumni Association in Indonesia. Unfortunately, we just created this organization in 2019, just before COVID. And so hopefully we'll become more active. Aji said that this is a rare opportunity. Our goal is not to make it rare anymore moving forward, as that we go out of the pandemic with the new normal. The goal is we want more Indonesians to be part of the MIT Alumni Association. So quickly, I am class of 2001. So if you see the slide just now, that year we are still in zaman jahiliyah. Yeah, it's like that year only 4 people get admitted, and I was the only undergrad. So I come from undergrad. So who is from currently right now still in high school? Here, anyone? Okay, there's a few of you. Who are parents who wants their kids to go to MIT? There's a few. So who are going to do the masters and PhD? So a lot of you, yeah. So yeah, I would like to share a little bit about the MIT undergrad experience that I have. Of course, it's a little bit dated. It's 24 years ago when I get in. I get in 98. So first of all, actually, I want to challenge Aji's premise that how to get into MIT is not to apply to Harvard. I would say the recipe to get into MIT is to apply to MIT. So that is what you should do, because it's so hard for people to do that, and it's a lot of people just don't dare to apply. I actually came from relatively, very local background. So I'm from Makassar. I was born in Makassar until junior high school, and I went to a local boarding school in Magelang, uh, in Taruna Nusantara. So I don't have any international school experience before. And then someone took a chance at me and says like, "Hey, Rahmat, it seems like you're doing very well in school. You know, I happened to get into and won some of the national competitions. So he gave me a challenge and said, look, if you get into one of the top schools in the US, I'll pay for you." And at that time, I didn't dream that I will go to MIT. I didn't even dare to dream. And that is what I want to challenge you, that you should. It's possible to get into the school of your dreams. Many, many things, right? We think about, okay, at the time, even to get the SAT, to get the TOEFL, my parents didn't have the resources to do that. But this guy took a chance, and right now that I'm relatively, have worked for some time, it was actually not that big. Um, and afterwards, I applied. I didn't dare to think that I will get in, but I got in. And when I realized that I went there, two things shook me. First of all, I thought that I was the smartest kid guy coming out of Indonesia at the time, right? So, winning national competition, like, in the school I was doing very well. But I realized that, I'm not the greatest thing coming out of the God's gift, whatever it is that I thought I was. So it's a very good lesson of humility. You will see a lot of people, um, you'll see a lot of people who are basically much, much smarter than you, right? And it can be very frustrating. So typically, every year, the alums try to do a dinner. Basically, we want to do a send-off dinner. Some of you may have attended, and I will always ask to deliver this message, especially for the undergrad. And my message is simple. If you get into MIT, remember that you are smart enough. You are actually a very smart person. Don't kill yourself, because some people did at MIT. My classmates, 2 people. Because it could be very stressful if you cannot handle that issue. But what I also want you to remember is that if you get into MIT, you already have the brain capacity, the engine, the ability to learn that will make you successful, not only at MIT, but also to go beyond your years. Right now, the alums, of course, Aji, how many alums, Aji? Maybe you have the more data. I just checked the WhatsApp group, it's 92 people, but I'm sure it's more than that. Double that, 184 or something, 180. Some of us work in many different lives, right? Some of them, Pak Haryanto here is a director in the largest bank in Indonesia. So few successful entrepreneurs. Some work for government. I also work for the government right now. So I know the Bu Penny in Kepala Bepom, and then Pak Monty and myself as deputy in different coordinating ministries. Pak Monty is in Ministry of Coordinating Ministry of Economics. I'm in Maritime. And actually I joined after 20 years of private sector. So you'll have a lot of people who have gone through that. Unfortunately, no president yet. Yeah, so ITB and Akmil have done it, not yet president, but you never know. Some of you might. So again, I want to leave you with this. Ask as many questions as you can. The fact that you're here, it already give me a very warm heart that you actually want to take the first step to find out. And when I apply in 97, there's no Google yet, right? So we look for Yahoo and still opening folders. And I couldn't afford to buy all these SAT tests and then also the book of schools. So I have to go to I had to go to Aminaf, ya, Gunung Sahari, and to go to the library and go to some of this bookstore and start opening the plastic bag. Yeah, don't follow that. I'm sure it's very easy now. Everything is PDF. So you get the world is your oyster. You have all the information. It's one Google away. Most of you, I'm sure, all of you have a smartphone. You can find all the information. And if you need more, you can come to us. My Instagram account is mrahmatk. Yeah, my first name, last name, and my name. So just drop me a message if you need anything. And of course, our friends here from AIS MIT will be able to help you with some of the questions. And then without further ado, I will let the ladies and gentlemen to let them tell you their stories. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm so sorry because we are at a full house capacity in person here at America. I would love to have people on my left to maybe move to the front, siapapun yang mau. And then here on the right side, we can reserve it for the speakers before they get into the stage, of course. So thank you so much. Yes, yes. And we can have audience from the right side to move a little bit there if you need more space, because I see you guys are like very, you know, close to each other here. All right, so thank you so much for the opening remarks from Pak Rahmat and also from Aji. I am very honored to see so many enthusiastic young professionals and students to go to MIT, especially. And just a gentle reminder that after this, we will go into learning the MIT programs. And I will call one of our good advisees from Education USA at America, Tommy Aditya. He is going to be presenting about MIT programs, and he's enrolled in the MBA program. So welcome, Tommy, to the stage. Thank you.
Yes. Can I get a clicker?
Mas Aji, is the clicker with you? All right.
All right. Hi, everyone. Wow. I remember 2 years ago, I was sitting at your place, or like 3 years ago. It was 2018. My journey with the MIT admission started like for 4 years, I think, 3 to 4 years. Pre-COVID, 2018, I started the whole preparation. 2019, I took the click of faith by clicking my mouse, of course, submitting my application. 2020, I got accepted and deferred because of COVID. But then it all started here. It all started with the help of Ed America. I consulted a lot with the program here. So Santika, actually, I owe a lot to her as well. And this is like our way to give back and to introduce the MIT community to you, the prospect students. All right. So as you can tell, like my background right now, I'm an MBA student at MIT Sloan, and I'm the class of 2020. Wait, 2023. I'm graduating next year. And so my presentation is going to be all about MIT Sloan. Apologize if you guys are interested with the broader MIT. But later on, we have representatives from other schools as well. And we will have a session like unrecorded where you can ask directly if you're interested with engineering program, the SDM, or the city planning program, or the PhD, even we have Pak Haryanto as well. So feel free to ask us later on and like stay tuned until the end of the event. But now this presentation is about MIT Sloan. And what it's not about, this is not about like tips and like, going to the checklist about applying to MIT Sloan, because you can check it out on the website easily. But I'm gonna take you through the essence, I think, what is MIT Sloan all about. So these are like all the programs that we have. We have about 7 programs, starting from early applicants, and then there's like MFin, Master of Finance. Di sini ada Nadia juga, Nadia dari MFin. Terus ada MBA, terus ada juga LGO. Sloan Fellow MBA is for the more experienced professionals who is interested to do like a 1-year program. And the last thing is Executive MBA. And so application checklist, you can have it all in the website. Jadi kayak tinggal apply aja. Ini ada beberapa list yang you need to have in order to apply to MIT Sloan for the MBA program at least. And there's like an LGO program as well. this is very reason. So all of these slides credit to MIT Sloan admission because I actually get it from them. And this is like the deadline for this year. So if you're applying for this year and you're gonna go for next year, so be mindful of these dates and like all the components that you need to have. So it's all same thing, I think, cover letter, resume, video, letter of recommendations. And I wanna give you highlights in terms of the GRE score. Because I think a lot of people keep asking me like, hey, I'm struggling with the GRE, I'm struggling with the GMAT, like how can I do that? This is like the average stats. My recommendation is that be within the boundaries, because if you're within the boundaries, you should be accepted. This is very important, I'm gonna repeat it in Indonesia. Jadi kalau misalkan ada teman-teman yang mau tanya gitu, masuknya susah, GRE-nya gimana, GMAT-nya gimana, lihat statistik dari sekolah yang kalian tuju, dan kalian coba lihat average-nya. Jadi kalau memang kalian nilainya udah di average-nya, you're in the safe side gitu. Kalau misalkan masih belum, terus kalian nanya, Kak, tapi nilai saya segini. Like, I think my answer personally would be like, look at the statistics. If you're in the statistics, like, you're fine. If you're not, try to improve it in any ways you can. Or other than that, like, just try your luck applying. So I can say that I was in the statistics. Jadi kayak, that's why I'm in the 80% percentile, I think, for the GMAT and the GRE. Terus, the class is 450 is pretty small class, unlike the other school. The other school kayaknya punya 1,000 orang, Harvard. So MIT is pretty small cohort, so our numbers is not that much as well. Terus juga ada beberapa integrated majors that you can check. I think it's pretty popular with the engineering students because it's an engineering school. But you have a lot of economics, business, and like a lot of diverse industry before coming to the program. And this is the fun part, the statistics again. So by now you can tell, it's all about statistics. Ajit throws statistics, I'm throwing statistics to you because MIT is all about data, and it's not only at engineering or at whatever school. Like I think like it's prominent to all of the schools that they just inject us with data. So 12% admittance rate, 30% got into interview. So if you got into interview, you should give yourself a pat at the back because you're on the right track. But like again, like this is like, I would say like all the process is more about how you fit to the school. If you don't get it because you're not qualified, it's because like there's other schools that may be a better fit for you. So take it like that, and I think once you change the perspective, it will help you to be more confident about your whole approach, applying, and everything else. So I think that's like how I would say that. And I know that my fit is actually with MIT, not with the other schools, and that's why I think I'm lucky to get accepted. And this is a fun stats. Just now I give you the stats about the MIT global admission, including the US applicants, but this is only for Asia applicants. So the rate for Asia acceptance is about 9% to 11%. And I think coming from Indo, you will have like benefits at your hand because this all combined with all the people from the most populous countries in the world, China, India. But from Indo, I think it's pretty scarce, so you might have a better chance than this statistics. And for example, like our 2024 MBA, we got accepted 5% from Indonesia, so it's like quite an improvement. And this is like my last tips, my last slide. Hopefully, I'm still on time. Aha. So again, I would like echo what Parhama says. Like, if you want to get in, the first tip is to apply. Because I know so many people, they're just telling me that, I want to go to MIT, how should I do it? And at the end of the day, I asked them, like, did you apply? I did not. Like, how could you get in if you don't apply? So the first time is like, you need to apply. And the second one, be and believe in yourself, because there's no box that you need to fit in. I think you just need to be like yourself in terms of application. Tell your story. If you're coming from privileged background, just tell you're coming from privileged background, but I want to change, if you're coming from a underprivileged background, just tell the story again. Like, there's no need for you to be someone or something, but just need to be yourself. And number 3, admission committee is looking for reasons to accept you, not to reject you. So I think that's a good change in mindset as well for you to be more calm, at this tense moment with all of the social media going on. So they're like your partner. And number 4, apply early. Well, rule of thumb is like the earlier you apply is the better, but if you're not ready yet by the first admission, you can go to the second one. Third one is a bit but you can try. Fifth, follow the directions because it's all set up already steps by steps. And I think kudos to MIT Admission. They have like a lot of program layout very clear. And number six, think of us, the MIT community, be it the current student, be it the alumni, as your ally as well. Reach out to us. Maybe some of us are busy, so we are not getting back to you. But if we have time, we are pretty sure we will get back to you, and then like we'll help you through the admission as well. And number seven, get support from your loved ones. This could be your family, your friends. I want to give shout out to my family. Actually, my mom is here watching me. So yeah, get support from all your loved ones. And then last but not least, have fun because this is the most important thing. Throughout the journey, you will learn more about yourself. And I think that's what's important, that you improve from this point onwards throughout the application process. And with that, I'm sorry I'm overdue, but I think I'm gonna end the presentation and we're gonna go to the next session. Santika, can I just invite panelists? Okay, so I wanna invite all of my fellows to come to the stage, starting from, I'll call it from Nadia. So Nadia, she's like MFin, Master of Finance. She graduated like 2021 and 2020, I'm sorry. Please have a seat, take a seat, any two. And then the next one I'm gonna call Sabrina. Sabrina, well, she's the most popular at MIT, I'm pretty sure. She is like SDM 2023. Please have a seat. And next, Essie. Essie, please come on stage. So Essie is the city planning. This is the rare birds here. So Essie, city planning 2023 as well. So please have a seat, Essie. So we have 3 women panelists, and last but not least, I will have 1 incoming student. So we have 2 current students, 1 alumni, and like 1 incoming. Dimas, please come on stage as well. So Dimas is MBA student 2024. So he will represent the incoming. So he will have like the freshest tips about applying to MIT, I think. And yeah, hi everyone. So why don't we start? We have about 40 minutes to 45 minutes for the session. And the way I'm gonna run the session is that I'm gonna ask them like first general introductions to introduce yourself, and then I will have like about 3 questions that will be answered by each panelist after that. So yeah, and then like, I think we should start with you because just follow the order here. My first question to all of the panelists here, just briefly tell us about yourself and like, why are you here and like, why do you apply to MIT and like your brief journey. I'll give you about like 3 minutes each for this question.
Okay, thank you, Tommy. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Dimas Andra Saputra. You can call me Dimas. One of the incoming student MBA program, like Tommy, and I think for of us already here also for MBA program, there is Licia, Devi, and Michael. We're going to the same batch actually, MBA 24 for MIT Sloan. Yeah, it's the biggest opportunity for me also to coming here. Meeting the first time with the alumni, the current student, and yeah, I was working for oil and gas company in Jakarta, and yeah, I think that's all.
I just wanna like, why do you? I mean, like, this is gonna be like all the panelists as well. Like, why do you apply to MIT, and like, why? What has been the most challenging part as well when you apply to MIT?
Right.
Maybe you can squeeze it into your answer. I'll go back to you, Dimas.
Okay, right. Back in 2018, at that time I returned from Sydney, Australia had my exchange program from Sydney. Then I continue my journey to had a working experience in oil and gas company. But at that time, I just prepared for my master because I want to pursue master degree after I had working experience for almost 3 or 4 years. At that time, I was confused what actually I want to take. But by the time I understand what I want, then yeah, I decided to apply MIT, especially for the Sloan. Why MIT and why in US? Particularly because my background for undergraduate was industrial engineering, and I think my working experience while working in the oil and gas company itself, for technicality, it's very enough for me. And I just want to challenge myself to take the next step, which managerial things. So I think, yeah, I'm looking for the class size and the profile for the MIT Sloan, coming from different background, and also the super collaborative admission and the student, and also the alumni that I can approach. Yeah, MIT is one of the best school that I applied to.
Awesome. You got into the good school. So yeah, now you all must be bored with MIT Sloan. We're gonna move to slash engineering slash Sloan. Sabrina, why don't you take it over?
Thank you, Tommy. So, hi everyone. My name is Sabrina. I'm from the System Design and Management program, like Aji has that cool program. But maybe a lot of people have not known about the program yet. So, it's an engineering and management program that focuses on systems thinking to solve complex challenges. But if I want to like review a bit about why did how did I actually ended up in MIT? Previously, I worked in a tech company as a product designer for a few years, and then after a few years, with a leap of faith, I decided to take on my entrepreneurial journey and started a product design consulting firm. And at that moment, I built it with one of my colleague from my previous company, and we worked on several challenges for clients. And well, it's not without its challenges. I mean, entrepreneurship, it was challenging, and we get to learn along the way, like by practical, by learning. But one point, I realized that I think it's time for me to actually upskill myself because, well, I came from computer science from my bachelor degree. I haven't really gotten formal, I think, of business learning or entrepreneurial learning. So after like experimenting, I feel like, okay, I need to upskill myself. And other than like online courses and all of that, okay, I think it's the right time for me to apply for master's. So in pre-COVID, I decided, okay, I will apply. But I think at that time, I haven't really like collected my guts to apply to MIT, even though like I wanted to be a part of MIT like at some point in my future. But so I applied to another university, but I didn't depart because I haven't got a scholarship to depart because masters are expensive. So if I didn't get a scholarship, I don't think I'm gonna go. So yeah, at that year I decided to not take it because I think the program cannot be deferred. But I think it was really why MIT was the fate because in the midst of that, I found out about system design and management program from one of the client project that I'm working on, and I found out about this program, and I realized that it's a combination of engineering, both engineering and management. So even though we learn more about systems thinking, but we can take electives at Sloan School of Management. So I once took some classes with Tommy as well, and the engineering school. So it's a perfect combination for me because yeah, I still want to be in a technical field, like want to pursue entrepreneurially in a technical field, but at the same time want to learn to study business. And my cohort was very diverse. A lot of them doesn't only come from computer science, but also civil engineering, architecture, mechanical, everyone, but mostly with engineering background, and they are more experienced and very. It's very cool, and a lot of them are also like aerospace engineering. So literally in class, we learned the study case about NASA. So it was really cool. So I think that's the brief story of how I ended up. So, yeah.
Thank you, Sabrina. By now you heard of two students, and now I'm gonna give it to the alum, the recent alum. So not as high above as us, facing the real life out there. But why don't you take it all away, Nadia?
Okay, thank you, Tommy, and thanks for having me there. Here, I'm Nadia. I graduated from Master of Finance program in 2020, so not so recent anymore. So before MIT, I was an investment analyst at one of the investment banks in Indonesia, but that was my main job. But before that, I also starting my own nonprofit organization, focusing on financial literacy and how we can help people to manage their money better. That's actually the story why I applied to MIT. So at the time, I was an investment analyst and also teaching people during the weekend. And then I realized there was a significant gap in Indonesia because one thing that I realized, the financial inclusion, we have access to financial products, but the problem here in Indonesia, the financial literacy level was really low at the time. At the time, it was around 20%. So I realized like, how can actually I help these people to make their financial life better, to reach their specific financial goals, and to help them to live a better life. So I realized, while also I was at work at the time, and there was like an aha moment for me, like, oh yeah, maybe I can help these people in Indonesia, especially millennial and Gen Z, to make smarter financial decision with financial engineering program, which is my program at MIT. So I wanted to help people to make smart decisions by automating the process, helping them to understand their finances, and helping them to decide what products suitable to reach their specific financial goals. So that is actually included in my essay when I applied to MIT. And one of the reasons I applied to MIT because I started looking at the program, which programs that offer a good financial engineering program, which I can also learn not only finance because my background is finance at the time. So I know a little bit or two about finance, but what I didn't know is like how we can combine and automate a lot of manual things in finance to give people recommendations. So I started researching what kind of schools that also offer that kind of stuff. So I found MIT Master of Finance program. Other than it is also one of the top school in the world, but one of the motivation for me to apply there is just I want to learn about the financial engineering and what I can give back and also build after I graduated from the program. And to be honest, it really helped me because before studying at MIT, I didn't know how to write a line of code. Maybe Sabrina knows better than me, but I didn't know anything. So after MIT, I learned about a lot on real stuff and also how to implement that to the real life as well, to Indonesia. When I came back to Indonesia in 2020, it also helped me to start my own business. So now I started a startup that's focusing on helping people to make better financial decisions. So I think that's a little bit from me, Tommy.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have the city planning representation here. So Essie.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Hi, everyone. I'm Prativi, or usually people call me as Essie. I'm a rising second-year Master in City Planning student at MIT. And before coming to MIT, I was a research, academic, and teaching assistant at one of the university in Indonesia. I specialize mostly in affordable housing, land development, and urban planning. And why I decided to apply to MIT, because at that time I realized that I need to learn more about city planning, but I also want to specialize in affordable housing and land development. And I think MIT offers a program that's kind of like flexible. The city planning program, it offers like several tracks like housing, community, economic and development, and also international development and other tracks. But even though we're a part of one track, we can just take any courses that we want. For example, because I'm interested in affordable housing, I can just take a course from international development, or maybe like from housing, or maybe like from environmental if I'm also interested in that. And another thing is because they also have an option to waive or test out. So if you have a background in urban planning, or maybe if you have like a professional experience in that, and you think you have already knows most of the thing that they will taught in the class, you can just take the test, and then or maybe like submit your portfolio, for example, for urban design course, and the professors will take a look at your submission, and if you are and if you are good enough, they will allow you to just test it out. In my case, even though I have like several core courses, because I test out most of the courses, in the end I only need to take like two main courses. So I can just take other courses either from MIT itself, or maybe like cross registration to Harvard, or maybe if you're interested in other university, or maybe in my friend's case, they're interested in working with the professor, so they decided to do independent study and stuff. So it's so flexible, and it's also can accommodate your needs. And it's also because I think I still can get track of about the city planning itself, because I think I need to know the foundation more, and that's why I guess in my case.
Thank you, Essie. So yeah, you've heard briefly about why all of us got hooked to MIT, and now this is like I know that the session's called like crack the code, but this is more like show don't tell. So we're not telling you how to apply. You can look it up online, but this is like just giving you what MIT is all about to you if you're attending it here. And so my next question, I think we're gonna respect the senior. So address this question to Nadia. So what has been your pleasant surprise about graduating from MIT?
That's actually a really good question. So I graduated in 2020. COVID happened. Finding a job in the US was so hard. So what I felt that time is just like, because when I applied to MIT, actually I really wanted to try working in the US first. And then what happened is that COVID happened, and then the job paused. It's really hard to apply for jobs in the US. But what I think one of the pleasant surprise is that, because at the time I kind of shifted from wanting to apply for a job in the US. I wanted to start my own business, because when I applied for jobs, I realized, oh yeah, I'm not going to work in the US because I'm going to learn way more if I start my own business back in Indonesia. So at the time, I was still in the US thinking to go back to Indonesia. And then there was one program at MIT called MIT Sandbox. And then I kind of pitched my idea like, hi, I want to start a business in Indonesia. This is my business idea. And then they gave me 15K grant to help me to start my business. And not only that, is that there is actually one program as well to help me to live in the US as well. So they gave me visa access. If I want to start a business in the US and decide, oh yeah, I want to start a business from the US instead from Indonesia, they also gave me access to get a visa, working visa in the US and start from a business from there. I think that is one from the ecosystem itself. It really helped me to start my own business. And not only that, I think also the alumni community was really helpful when I tried to find a job or start my own business. They really helped me to kind of like to pitch to new investors, or to kind of like to know what to do with my business. So the community at MIT helped me to connect with new people in the US who really know the know-how to start a business. And that kind of like, I kind of expected that when I applied to MIT, but I didn't really know that the support gonna be that tremendous when I start my own business.
Thank you. And just want to add note on that. I think MIT has a very strong presence in the States. If you go to the United States and you say you're from MIT, it's like people giving you a red carpet. But here at Indo, I don't think the presence is not as strong as, I mean, the name is strong, but the community is not as strong. But that is why we are holding this event, and under this and moving forward, we're gonna pass it on to the next generation as well. How we can make a better connection between the alum and the current students, so we can have more events together and just make a stronger community here. I think that's our hope from the fresh students, like incoming students here as well. To Rahmat juga. So next question, I'm gonna post it to the current students. Let's go with Sabrina first. What has been the pleasant surprise about studying at MIT?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the assumptions when you're going to MIT, you will be definitely feeling insecure because of your peers, because, well, of course, everyone is just excellent, which is true. But when I attended MIT, well, as a master's student, I really surprised. What came to me as a surprise, I did not feel that way, not because I feel smart, because everyone is literally way smarter than me, but it's because like the collaborative environment. So I think to echo what Nadia has said, I just realized that everyone has their own story, their pathway. Like in my cohort, everyone came from a very different background, and they have like their own mission in terms of their career. And how can we like learn from each other's professional experiences? I think I really got that learning from MIT, like learning from other people, not only in the classroom, but also like as simple as over lunch. Just like 1 hour of lunch, I get to really understand, wow, there's definitely this kind of work. Like a lot of people are doing very cool work that is outside of my radar and my circle. So I think it really opens up my horizon, and it doesn't make me insecure in a way, because, well, everyone has their own story and mission. So how can we just actually utilize the resources that MIT has to offer, which also comes to the second point. I was also surprised by the resources that MIT has to offer. So when you're going to MIT, I think a lot of people like, hey, okay, you're the tech person, and then oh, you're like the architecture person. Like it's all squared. But I think but actually it's very multidisciplinary. You can really like cross some majors. Like I saw some lecturer in architecture who is also data science, and just like out of that, the outcome is like something very cool. So it's really multidisciplinary, and if you go there, you can also take. It's like when you have go to MIT, you can take courses in Harvard. Like I actually took class from the Graduate School of Education like last spring. So it's like very different, right? But yeah, you can like either focus. So I think, and one of the key learnings is you have to focus. Really, what's your mission? What do you want to get out of there? Because 2 years is very, very short. You don't have a lot of time to explore everything, but at the same time, will be open to a lot of surprises, right? Like, yeah, because everything is very multidisciplinary. You can connect one with two. So I think that's the value of I think getting to masters to like get your goal, but also explore surprising things.
I know that's gonna be our goal next year, right? Just explore. Now, Essie, same question to you. Like, what has been the pleasant surprise about studying at MIT?
I think for me, it's endless opportunities and endless events because turns out we have like lots of events at MIT. You don't even know which events to attend because you get like at least one or two or more invitation per day. And I thought at first MIT people would be very hardworking and they don't have a time to chill. But it turns out that everyone loves to like doing event party, doing like a potluck at like as MIT. I mean, if you miss Indonesian food, we sometimes provide it in our events. So just come and join us. And then I think it's also about the flexibility and their openness. I mean, they're very accommodating. If we have something that we think they should provide, they will try as much as they can to provide it for us. For example, in my department, we have this kind of like core courses, and they often ask for feedbacks from us, and every time we give them feedbacks, they'll try as much as they can to provide it to us. For example, we want to change the assignments, and they'll say like, okay, we will change the assignment if it is more important for you than just doing this kind of assignment. Or maybe if we ask for an extended deadline or something, they'll try as much as they can. So they're very flexible too. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, the answer. And last but not least, I'm gonna give it the same question to the incoming student. But my question is gonna be, what has been your pleasant surprise about interacting with the MIT community? 'Cause this is like, this guy has the fresh eyes now.
Okay. Well, I just surprised when I got accepted at MIT Sloan. I don't um I don't believe that there are a lot of checklists that I need to do when I get accepted, including join the community in the Slack, for example, introducing ourselves with the community, um, and then we need to decide what actually we want to take after we got accepted. It doesn't mean that you need to know what actually your goals from the short time. I mean, you need to decide it what actually you want to take. For example, for the finance, or the enterprise management, or entrepreneurship. But you need to know what actually you want to do at MIT. Coming from different background, it's almost diverse in the community. I get surprised. There are a lot of engineer. There are a lot of consultant, and also doctor, astronaut, also at MIT Sloan. I'm just surprised with that. And then I thought I'm the only one who working in the oil and gas. But when I joined in the group, wow, okay, there are a lot of people who coming from different background. So yeah, maybe we can start all over again from the beginning. Then, yep, it's pretty intense week after I got the accepted, and so much fun. But till now, I still doing my preparation for coming to MIT Sloan with the models, with the course that I need to take before I start my MBA program. It's very interesting, but it's beyond of my expectation also. However, I understand this could be the first step for me also to introduce my new self to the MIT community with a lot of diversity.
Of course, that's a good attitude to have. So yeah, I think you're very spot on. Your first semester is going to be horrible.
I guess.
but after that you'll get used to it. Like I remember like when I was on your seat, or like maybe people here like following some of us on Instagram as well. I was like looking at Instagram, and like Nadia was like working at 11 p.m. before going to movie, and I was like, is that really?
Just for branding.
Yeah.
Not really like that.
So yeah, it's gonna be like an intense experience, but we'll get used to it. Now, my second question is gonna be more addressed maybe to your concerns and why you are here. It's about like time management, because I think all of you have like professional career, all of you like have academic life right now, and you guys wonder like how do they actually manage their time in terms of applying and like as a student as well. So why don't you take it the first question? How do you balance your time between applying for schools and still succeeding in a career?
Well, after I returned from Sydney, Australia, and get my first job, my human resource department asked me, "What do you want to do in upcoming 5 years?" Then I answer, "I want to take a master program." At that time, I was blurred, as I mentioned before, what kind programs that I would like to take. But I have a lot of people who are really supporting me in personal, and I get a lot of inputs and advice because my background was industrial engineering. So yeah, MBA or industrial engineering or supply chain will be fit in me. I'm looking for the preparation for GRE, IELTS. It was really hard for me because I'm working at 9 and at 6 or 5. Then I need to take a course for GRE, GMAT, and IELTS. It was very stressful back in 2020. Yeah, the preparation for almost 2 years. Every day I learn and nailed the GRE exercise, GMAT also. Yep, I got uh, 2 times for GRE because on my first time the score was really bad at the time, and I took again for the second time. Yeah, the score um, upgrade, and then after 2 years preparation for IELTS and GRE, I applied for MIT and also the other school, not to mention.
Is that the other school?
Okay, not the other school. Okay, 3 other school actually. Surprisingly, I got those schools, including the MIT. Maybe Kak Aji mentioned don't apply to Harvard. I applied to the other school and I got those 3 schools, but different major. I got the industrial engineering, Master of Industrial Engineering for 2 schools, and one of the school is MIT Sloan. So yeah, after I do the research for the curriculum and then a lot of things that I can do while I'm studying there, yeah, I just take the MBA afterwards.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. Gentle reminder, we have like about 9 minutes, so maybe like 2 minutes each, and then like I have like my last question. So my next question is gonna be the same thing, but for the current students. So maybe start with SC first. How do you balance your time between like between on like your academic and personal life at MIT?
Well, I try to set a priority at first, and then usually I allocate my weekdays for working on assignments, and then meet people from school and for the weekend to like calling my family and maybe like um yeah, connect with people, joining events. But yeah, I think I also guess to ask your seniors for their recommendation how to balance your life, because every program has different kind of like load that you need to do. For example, at MCP we have different credits, total credits than other schools. And sometimes people also do other things such as become a research associate or maybe do competition or maybe applying to funding for their startup or something. So I guess you should reach out to as many people as you can, so that you got to know know more about the things that you will be facing in the future, so you can manage your time better.
Thank you, thank you. And same question to you, Sabrina.
Yeah, so quite similar with what Essie said. I think it depends on the phase, right? I think in the beginning when I was adjusting to the course load and the academics of the program, I really put my focus on like catching up and all of that. But well, it's really important to ask to your seniors, and because in my case, a lot of people are taking different opportunities, right? Some are taking like research assistant opportunities, some are like doing entrepreneurship, going to MIT Sandbox, and all of those entrepreneurship. So I think it really helps to map, oh, these are like the required time that is needed, because I think MIT, it's not about just the number of classes that you have, but the hard work really comes when doing the assignments. It's like working time, so you really have to allocate your time. But I think it's no problem. It's not that you will not have a life there, because there's a lot of events and things are happening. So like from informal gatherings until like networking with people, it's always available. Sometimes it's all over the place. The information is just everywhere. So I think, yeah, it depends on what phase of your semester that you are at, and then make sure you reach out to seniors who are taking different similar aspirations to like know what are the load work. And lastly, well, participate in those fun events, because eventually I think one time I joined an informal event and I got something out of it for the professional world. So yeah, enjoy, I think.
Yeah, I think like the team, if you can hear that, like it's about like networking, like making time for personal is very important as well, not only about academics. So now go to the alumni for Nadia. Same question, but a little bit of twist. Now, as an alum, like maybe you're not in the environment of like studying. Like, how do you keep on learning while balancing your startup life now?
Yeah, I think for my job, like I have to learn every day because there are so many things I don't know until now. So I think that like I'm not really disciplined with my times, to be honest. But recently I tried to implement Jack Dorsey's time management. So I usually label my days. So Mondays for specific thing, and Tuesday for what, Wednesday for what. And then I try to label myself, and I label my day, and then try to label specific days for learnings. For example, for me, I usually learn from people, and also I'm not really good at like reading books and also watching videos. I usually learn by doing or talking to people. So I always spend my Saturday or Sunday to talk to new people, to really learn like about things that I don't know. But other than that, I usually label my day on according to Jack Dorsey's time management schedule. But I think what is most important, not only when I was also a student at MIT, is also to keep my mental health in check, like Sabrina said, because school can be really hard, but life after school can be harder than that. So I always make sure that I always spend like my Sunday to not to do anything, just to keep my mental health in check.
I just want to like check on that one. That's why like healing is very important. Go to Bali to healing. I think this is gonna be like we have like 5 minutes or maybe like 1 minute each. The last question is that what is your last admission tips to all the participants here in house or like those over Zoom as well? We see you. Yeah, what is your 1 minute tips for them to apply to MIT? So we start. Maybe we start from Essie going to this way around.
I think one word. No, what? Not one word actually. Just submit your application. I think that's the hardest part, because sometimes we already provide. I mean, like we're already writing our statement of purpose, taking tests, and all those things that MIT required. But in the end, we didn't apply because we were just too scared. And I think that's why we should submit the application.
Thank you. Next.
I think I want to echo on that and just want to add few stuff, because before I applied to MIT, I did overthink a lot whether I could get in or not. So just apply, and then one thing that I want to emphasize, like US application process is really comprehensive. So they don't really see you from your GRE score or your GPA or your school, because I got a lot of questions like that. So one thing for sure is that make sure you can tell your own story, and then make sure why MIT you should be a MIT student. So my last tips gonna be two. First one is that read the website, and after you read the website and think about what kind of qualities that you want to tell the admission, why MIT should accept you.
Before going to Sabrina, I want to add something on that. Moderated sponsor. So me and Nadia actually like went to the same GRE prep school, and like Pak Sandi has been like a kind sponsor to this event as well. So he ran Sandi Laksana Institute. You can check it on our Instagram or like their Instagram directly. So we did our preparation together. Nadia.
Together.
Yeah,
in
we
same
went in the
class.
same class. Like we don't even know we're gonna end up at MIT. We just
But he wanted to apply for a different school.
were we? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we were in the same class. We were studying GMAT together at that Sandi Laksana Institute class, and 2 years then, like I was like, she got accepted first, and like me following the next year. So yeah, a good course. And also we have like a sponsor for all of you here that are like still studying, or like maybe still at a K-12, like year 12, or like prior, or like you just want to improve your math or like your physics. There's like Synergy Tutorial, who is our other sponsors as well. Like she's very kind. They're very good. They have like a lot of like Olympiad students there. So if you want to improve your maths, double down on your GMAT Quan or like GRE Quan, check them out. They'll be very happy to connect you with the resources over there. And next, I'm gonna pose the same question to you, Sabrina. Like, what is your last tip for the students here?
So I've once heard a good quote about admissions. So preparing the application might take you like 3 months or so, but I think what's gonna take you years are building up the story, because the essay is also one of the important parts that will represent why are you unique to the admissions, right? Other than the test. So yeah, and to build up on that, it will take years of building the experiences, your portfolio of work, and then actually finding and discovering within yourself what do you want to achieve and what do you want to make out of that. Like, what is your story? It's not something you can build in like 3 months or 1 month. So yeah, take your time to explore your area of work and to reflect what you actually want to probably explore and achieve, what makes you unique, and perhaps that will help you in building up your story that will be supported by the letter of recommendation, maybe from your employers, and yeah, all the tests are going to be just supporting. It's very holistic. So yeah, share your own story and don't be afraid to apply.
Yeah, make it a holistic application, indeed. And last but not least, why don't you take it away, Dimas?
Well, echoing Kak Nadia, what she was saying, MIT application, it's about the integrated and holistic requirements. However, some of people believe that if your GRE score is low, you cannot get it accepted. If your GMAT score is low, you cannot get it accepted. But the part of interesting, this year, MIT accept for the waiver for GMAT or GRE. I don't know, it's happened for the pandemic year. And some of my friends got the accepted for the MIT loan. It means that not the only GRE or GMAT or IELTS, for example, but MIT specifically for Sloan, looking for the holistic and also how you can build the story, how you can tell them that you want the MBA, for example. And for the Sloan itself, they focus on what actually you accomplished in the past year. I mean, not like what is your goal, what is your career path after MBA. It's not like that, but how you can tell the story about your past achievement, accomplishment, and you can create the story and how you can get the impact to the community and society.
That's a nice words to conclude this session of panelists. Why don't you give us all a round of applause? Thank you, panelists. And now we have the next session. It's until 1:35. We have about like 14 or 13 minutes to do Q&A. So if you guys have a burning question, please raise your hand and I will give like Santika to choose who will have the mic to ask. And before that, while we're waiting for the mic to be passed on, I have one question from Zoom. And this question is, let me read it first. So this question is very cool. It's talking about like, what do you think the admission committee is looking for reasons or their reasons to admit you? What is typical of background story of MIT students? Maybe I'll address it to you because you're the most recent one.
Okay, well, for the Sloan itself, there are maybe 9 to 10 requirements, 8 to 9 requirements, including the cover letter, 1-minute video statement, 1-page resume, and recommendation letter. It's very essential part to be integrated and holistic one on each other, including the GMAT or GRE if you want to submit. But I don't know this year, MIT give the waiver or not. However, those aspects need to be filling one in each other. For example, in my one-page resume, I told much more about my professional background. For my 1-minute video statement, I shared my story about culture experience while had my culture experience in Sydney, Australia. And for the cover letter, I tell much more about what actually I've been done while in undergraduate program. So means that there is no redundant matters that I put in my application. And then for the recommendation letter, I really suggest for everyone who wants to apply, please put your recommendation letter for the people or person who really know you in personal. So they can talk genuine about yourself. They can talk sincere about yourself. Not to choose the people who you think that, okay, these people have a high level. For example, Ministry of blah, blah, blah. But they don't know you in personal. So just mention people or put your recommendation letter that people who knows you more. I choose my direct supervisor on the recommendation letter.
Yeah.
So I think that's all.
Yeah. Thumbs up? I think it's all thumbs up. Like I agree with what he said. But let's move on to the in-person Q&A. Thank you, friends, for the question, by the way, over Zoom. And the in-person is going to be, who has the mic?
Me?
Okay, please.
Thank you so much, Tommy, and all of the panelists. We have a great opportunity to ask questions today. We got 1, 2. I'm going to select kind of like randomly from each side. So start from sini.
Please introduce your name and like to whom you want to direct your questions to. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm Anna. Actually, I'm from Central Bank of Indonesia, same as your previous company. I just want to ask, is it possible for me or for the other people to apply for both PhD and also master degree, especially in economics? I've read that for PhD program in economics, we don't have to take master degree first. Thank you.
Okay. I think I know someone that will be like the best person to answer your question. Can you pass the mic to Pak Hari?
Okay.
Because Pak Hari is the only PhD here representing.
Yeah, very good questions. Some departments don't require a master's degree, so you can go directly to PhD program. But I know one of the professors in economics department at MIT named Ben Olken. Ben told me that MIT economics department is one of the hardest department to get in. You need to be really, really special in what you've been doing before. Maybe next time when Ben Olken comes here, you need to see him. You need to meet with him because he spends time at UI. okay, with the one of the institute there. I can give you the contact number after this, because he's coming in October, and I think it will be useful for you to talk to him when he's in town. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Pak Haryanto, for the insights and for the tips. He always
Yes.
been that helpful. Next
And
question.
yeah, and to be fair, kalau kamu perlu kayak discuss on that, kamu udah cek nih websitenya, terus kamu bingung, you can come to us. We'll be happy, more than happy to have you. Alright, next question. Satu dari sini ya. Let me pick yang itu karena itu tadi pertama, kasihan. Please introduce yourself and your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm Eko. I just want to ask about the recommendation letter. I just asked few of my friends about who is going to give you the recommendation letter. Some people said that it is better that you got a recommendation letter from your last professors in, well, whether you study on the undergraduate or master degree, if you want to go to PhD. And some people said that it's better for you to get from your boss, from your direct boss in the office, which accidentally it can be that no need to have a master degree or PhD degree. Maybe your boss is in your current company is only an undergraduate alumni. In your experience, which come to the best fit for you to apply regarding the recommendation letter? Is it from the professors or as well, my boss is here. Pak Haryanto is my boss in my office.
Anak buahnya.
or you can ask for a combination. So one from your boss, and then one from the professor, and one from someone that you know
Thank you
who
for the
knows you
question.
genuinely. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think I can add, I think for four of us, which are the Stone School, we will say direct supervisor who knows you best will be the best approach to that. But I want to give this question to Essie to add as well. What is your thought on that?
I think it really depends. In my case, because I work as a research assistant in my undergrad university, I got a recommendation from 3 of my professors. But I guess my friends also got a recommendation letter from their boss. So as long as the recommenders can give you good recommendation and they know about your school, I think it's okay. That would be nice.
Thank you. One more question from the audience, maybe?
I'm gonna pick this one. Hi.
Thank you Kak Santika. Thank you for all the attendance here. Mungkin in Indonesia is okay ya, karena takutnya gugup jadi nggak kesampaian. Okay, so hopefully this year I would like to submit. Saya ingin submit. Saya udah kenal Kak Dimas. Kita yang chat-chatan Kak. Mungkin Kakak belum kenal saya. Oke.
Buka loh maskernya. Udah ada jodoh? Mungkin mau nomor?
Saya sudah punya anak 5 tahun.
Oh.
Oke, so kebetulan saya sama Kak Sabrina dapat beasiswa LPDP ke MIT MBA. Jadi hopefully saya cuma bertanya 3 pertanyaan. Pertama, is it really important kalau kita harus connect ke profesor? Jadi kita lebih easy untuk writing the essay, or is it harus atau tidak gitu? Karena memang saya sudah mencoba sebenarnya connect ke profesor, tapi mohon maaf belum dibalas gitu ya. Nah kemudian, tapi saya kalau memang it's a must and it's very make us easier to accepted in MIT, so I will do my best, maksudnya tetap connection. Kemudian yang kedua, club, karena kan saya read, kebetulan saya ingin membuat sebuah pabrik di Sumatera Utara, jadi saya membaca beberapa klub yang interesting, terutama di FSC atau Food Agriculture Club. I don't know Kak, bisa nggak sharing soal klub ini? Ada nggak pernah experience join this club, and actually apa sih benefit yang kakak-kakak sekalian dapatkan as a current student and yang sudah graduated from MIT ya? Apa sih benefitnya ketika kita join klub itu? Kemudian yang ketiga, tadi kan Kak Dimas bilang ya, contribute to community. Do you put it in your essay, or how actually you manage atau arrange in your essay to put this contribution? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Tadi namanya siapa?
Namanya Cory.
Cory, thank you. Cory, great question. I think I just want to post this to Shelly over the Zoom juga. Dia nanya tentang how to differentiate yourselves in the application. And I think Corey just mentioned like how to actually step by step to differentiate yourself, to get to know the club, to get to know the professors, to get to know, what was your last question? Community, to get to know the community. So like those three approaches are like exactly what you need to do in order to differentiate yourself. Make it your own story. And with that, I want to post Corey's question to Sabrina.
So is it important to reach out to professors for the essay? I don't think it's necessary. It's optional. I think it will be good because it's more of like showing that you really know about the program and perhaps what kind of specialization that the professor is focusing, and I think that is more like showing that you really know about the program. But I think that's really optional. But in a way, if you don't ended up connecting before you write your essay, perhaps you can show that during the interview or the essay that you want after your goal, after applying, after like explaining about your past experiences, and when you're like explaining what are your goal after the MBA program, you can mention that, oh yeah, in the MBA program, perhaps you want to focus on this specified courses from this professor, and perhaps I think for the admission officers, it's kind of show that, oh, this person has done some research about this program, so it's really just showing credibility and your eagerness. I think that, but it's not mandatory to reach out to them because it's also, even for me now for thesis, it's hard to contact them. So yeah, it's gonna take time. So don't make that stopping you from submitting your application.
Thank you, Sabrina. And I have like one last question. This is going to be for Nadia, and I think this great question coming from Shelly again. It's a two-pronged question, but the last bit of her question is about like, do you think like people or like MIT are looking for diversity in the applicants? And then I think I want to like just the concept of diversity, because you're applying to YC and all that as well. I think it's a very trending concept. I just want to like want to hear your insights on the diversity in terms of like schools and like forever life afterwards.
Yeah, one word, definitely. Definitely people like diversity, both for MIT as well. I was the only Indonesian for my program back then. And I thought at the time, I thought probably MIT accepted my application because I'm Indonesian and because, to be honest, my GRE score wasn't that good. And then I was wondering why they accept me. And maybe it's because of diversity, because they need someone from Southeast Asia, because there were only 3 people from Southeast Asia when for my program at the time. So diversity, I think definitely if you can show that you're so different, and not only you're so different, but you also can contribute to the MIT society because you're different, that will be really cool for your application. And then not only that, when you graduated from MIT, being different is also actually cool because to your question, Tommy, I think it really helped me when I tried to fundraise for my startup as well because I'm a female founder. It kind of helped in a way, not trying to, but it really helped because there are a lot of investors that are looking for female founders. And so the tip here is just how you can make how you can make yourself so special because you're different. So I think that's what's really important, and how you can highlight that story to tell the people.
Thank you so much. Why don't we give like, another round of applause to all the panelists? And again, although Nadia's maybe like mentioned the GRE score is not that good, but because of our tutor, we actually got in still, right? Just like sponsor
Different.
message.
We study for GMAT, not GRE.
Different. That's true, that's true. Again, we would like to thank you, the sponsor, Sandy Institute, as well as Synergy Education, for the support for hosting this event. And like, I'm gonna give it back to the MC, Santika. Please, and all the panelists can go down.
All right.
you.
Thank you so much, everybody. So we are closing this live stream, but there is an offline part to this event, which is the networking. So I think a lot of you guys attend this event with that in mind. So yes, we will close this one officially virtually, and then we will continue with the networking for about 30 minutes. So thank you, everybody. Oh, I'm so sorry. So there's a closing remarks. So yes, please welcome you to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Rahmat opened the session today. He was an undergraduate student at MIT, and all the panelists here, they're all master's students at MIT. And as a closing, I was a PhD student. So complete, yeah, from undergraduate, master's, and PhD. So let me introduce myself. My name is Haryanto. I graduated from MIT in 1996 with a PhD degree in aeronautics, astronautics. So I am a real rocket scientist, right? But I never work in any technical field. So typically when somebody did a PhD at MIT, the career path usually is to work in a lab or to work in an academic institution as a faculty member. But my career path was totally different. So I was a management consultant for a while, then switched job to become a banker. I worked for a local bank here for Mandiri for 5 years. Then I was a country CEO for JP Morgan, which is a Wall Street bank. So I was an investment banker for about almost 8.5 years. And then I joined BCA. So I'm a director at BCA, currently in charge of consumer banking. So many of you, I'm sure, are customers of BCA. So I'm the one in charge of making sure that your financial needs are actually met. Friends, let me just say a few words about MIT PhD program. There was actually a question on Zoom asking if you're an undergraduate student and you would like to do a PhD program at MIT, what should you do? I think very, very important for you to have some research experience. As an undergraduate student, try to get involved in research and work with people that can guide you and also can say good things about you during the application process, particularly for letters of recommendations. It is really, really important for that. Of course, you need to have good grades as well. And I remember when I was doing my master's program at another university in the US, my professor was the one that was encouraging me to actually apply to MIT. And then I remember last October, I went to MIT and I went to MIT campus actually, right? And did a sharing session with the students at MIT and Harvard about what actually are the key success factors in life, not just at MIT, but also in life. I think there are actually 3 buckets. The first one is about thought leadership. And thought leadership comprise of, number 1 is high degree of curiosity, high degree of curiosity. You need to remain curious in whatever you do. I wasn't trained as a banker. I didn't even take economics courses except 2 courses when I was an undergrad, macro and micro. And yet I'm not a banker, right? Clearly, curiosity is very, very important. And you learn a lot about curiosity when you study at MIT because you need to work on a problem set that is completely ill-defined. You don't even know what you're solving. The data sometimes are given too much. Sometimes you don't even have data. Sometimes the data are actually conflicting. It's quite common, just like in real life, right? So curiosity is number 1. Number 2 is superior problem-solving skill. And the third one is actually tolerance for ambiguity. We live in the world that is constantly changing, and you need to be tolerant of ambiguity. So first one is about thought leadership. You learn a lot about thought leadership when you are actually at MIT. Related to that actually is resilience. You will work really, really hard when you're at MIT. Okay, I was struggling my first semester. I did very well after that, but first semester is always the most challenging semester for everybody that join MIT because you need to adjust your study habit, your working style, your whatever, right? Very, very important to adjust very quickly. The second element of success is actually all the soft skills. You need, because in real life, sometimes once you move up in any organization, it is not just the thought leadership that is important. It is your interpersonal skill. It is your teamwork. It is your communication skill. And you can actually learn a lot by joining a club or many clubs at MIT. That's why you actually have opportunity to demonstrate your teamwork, how you relate to people of different background, different nationality, different socioeconomic status, how you try to influence people. Those are actually the skills that's really important in real life. The third element is actually luck, right? You cannot deny that fact. Luck is actually very, very important. But you can increase your luck. How do you increase your luck? By having good network, managing your stakeholder very, very well, and having great mentors. Because those three elements can actually help you to be successful in life. So again, first one is about thought leadership. You need to actually have strong thought leadership by being always curious, always want to learn new things. Second one is, of course, your soft skills. Don't forget the soft skills, okay? You cannot be successful in life just by being very, very smart. Soft skills, very important. The third one is luck, and you can change your luck. You can change your luck by having network, having mentors, and know how to manage your stakeholders. I think that's all I want to say for today, and I'll be hanging around here for the next 15 minutes until maybe 2 o'clock. So anybody have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I have a LinkedIn account. Feel free to connect with me at LinkedIn. And there was a story in LinkedIn about my life, how a rocket scientist ended up in banking. So maybe it's something interesting for you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Pa Haryanto, for the very meaningful motivation that we all received today. And I do apologize for our online audience because most of them in Zoom are like, I want to join the networking. Yeah, so we are at full capacity and we hope that you can reach out to ICE MIT personally. Just like what Pa Haryanto said, you can try to reach out to them through LinkedIn if you find them. And you can also find the social media account of ICE MIT. And it will be shared right after our event, and you can try to find them in Instagram as well, okay? So thank you, everybody, and I'm giving it back to our At America team, and afterwards, you can stay for the networking event, and we will have a photo ops as well with all of our panelists here. All right, thank you, everybody. See you next time.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for your participation today. And I would also like to thank our speakers and moderator for sharing your knowledge with us today. And I would like to invite you to follow our social media. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at AT America for event updates. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and newsletter for more updates from us. All right, with that, I think it is time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, I am Andrea, and see you at the next At America event. Thank you.